Hello, I'm Tanner, natural bodybuilder who's also getting into philosophy. And I guess first off, apologies for no philosophy video yesterday. Um, I was just busy. I didn't have time because if you watch the gym vlogs, I was at Silver Dollar City with my family. We had a good time. I ate food. Wasn't the plan, but I did it. It was nice. But today, I wanted to talk about how specifically did I word it? Move forward, however possible. Title of the video. um, And I want to talk about this for a few reasons. First off, I was inspired to talk about this specifically today by I was watching Witch Hat Atelier. It's this new anime that's coming out. It's awesome. We're probably like I think eight episodes in. It's awesome. It's genuinely so amazing. But there's a kid in it, and I'm not trying to spoil because it's a new anime. People might not have heard of it. If you want to watch it, watch it. But basically, he is colorblind. But in this show, his color blindness comes in the form of silver wash, is what they call it. So basically, everything's like silver to him. And he's essentially told he will struggle to be a witch because he can't do more advanced things with more advanced components because they all look the same to him. That's like as basic of a rundown as I can get without, um, I think, giving away too much information. Um, and he's told, you can't become a witch, or you'll struggle to be a good witch, I guess. And then in the latest episode, he finds a workaround. He finds a workaround, a way to move forward. And I've made videos like the one Why Worry, and one of the responses to that was, "Well, tell that to my clinical anxiety." He was like, "I've diagnosed anxiety. It's not as simple as stop worrying." Or the one where my video titled, I think it was titled, "You control your life," something like that, right? Where I was talking about you control your life, you control everything about it, right? But okay, what about the people that face legitimate issues in their day-to-day lives? What about people that have legitimate disabilities, legitimate problems? I'm not talking excuses. I'm not talking, oh, I don't have time for the gym, but I spend 5 hours a day on my phone. It's like, well, maybe if you took an hour of that off, you could go to the gym, like things like that, right? I'm talking like legit stuff, legit disabilities, legit clinical anxiety, like that one guy had responded with. And um, I kind of wanted to address that, I guess. That was a long intro for me to finally get to my points. I apologize. When we face legitimate obstacles in our path, we need to find a way forward. Crawl if you must. Okay, so what I mean by crawl if you must is uh, the idea that if you're in a situation where you're like, I feel like I can't walk, I definitely can't sprint forward, but I don't feel like I can walk forward either. Crawl, right? The idea of doing even just a little bit, even just a little bit. If you're someone who's like, I genuinely can't make time for the gym, then okay, while you're doing whatever it is that makes you so busy, make sure you are getting your exercise in while you're doing that. If you're like, I'm way too busy, I'm way too busy with work, I'm way too busy with whatever, okay, well, while you're at work, make sure you're getting your steps in, or if you're like, I can't afford the gym, right? That's the issue. Um, do workouts at home, push-ups, sit-ups, uh, squats, and things like that. And this obviously isn't actually about the gym. It applies to a multitude of any situations. The gym is just an example of whenever you are struggling to move forward in a situation because you have legitimate reasons that you can't, then you need to crawl forward. You need to inch forward little by little, doing just whatever it is that you can do to move forward in the situation, right? Um, I have, there's a buddy I went to high school with. We used to play football together. Uh, he like really messed up his ankle, in, I don't know, it was probably like ninth grade. So he had plenty of years of football left. But while his ankle was messed up, you can't hit legs. He bench pressed like every day. He benched every day. And the result of that was I think he might have set a record for like our football team's bench press. He was the best bencher on the team. It's like that is an example of crawling forward, doing what you can, even if it is just a little bit, to continue moving forward in whatever it is. Um, can I think of another example than the gym, so that way it's more widespread? The only other example that comes to mind would be like crawling forward with your diet and things like that, but I still think that's too closely gym related. But I hope you get the idea. Crawl forward little by little, make improvements, and inch towards your goal, whatever it is. Just do what you can. Um, and then immediate improvement in the situation can't be expected. We need to focus on 1% better each day. I feel like this is a very common way of putting it. The 1% better each day. I feel like we've all heard that, but what does that really mean? Well, I think it has a lot to do with what I was just talking about with the crawling forward, with the inching forward, right? It we'll just do diet because I can't think of any other examples right now. You're like, dude, I just feel like I can't get my diet under control. Okay. Small improvements here and there, right? Because with a lot of things in life, and especially pertaining to a diet example, if you try to make this drastic change, it's not gonna stick, right? But if you say one day you cut out full sugar sodas, you change the diet, and you inch forward that way. You're 1% better in that way, in the thing you're trying to control. And then you're up to the next week. You're like, I'm feeling good. I'm getting it done. Whoa, Asta, he just came out of nowhere. Um, and then the next day you're like, or the next week you're like, okay, I'm feeling good. I've got this. We're moving forward. Uh, Switch to low calorie sauces. The diet is just an example of, but 1% better each day. That is what I'm trying to get at. And I wish I could come up with better examples that aren't so like gym and bodybuilding related, but my mind's kind of blank right now. So I apologize. But I hope you get the point. 1% better each day. I guess it is very similar to the idea of crawling forward, but like, do the little. Do the little. Even if it is the bare minimum, do what you can to move forward. The way I worded it with my last point was, people face legit issues, and whenever this happens, we need to find a way forward by any means. Sprint, walk, crawl, however you need to move forward, right? Whenever you have a legit issue. I said legit so many times because there are a lot of people who have legit issues that are really just excuses. Like I said earlier, I think I said earlier, I don't know, but they're like, oh, I don't have time for the gym, but it's like, oh, I spend 6 hours a day on my phone. It's like, so you don't have time? What about those 6 hours on your phone? Things like that. I don't know. I really want other examples other than the gym because I feel like this is so like narrowed down to one thing. But anyway, I hope you get the idea. Even though I was horrible about coming up with other examples today, move forward however you can. I get people have legit issues, and I get you have legitimate struggles, but do what you can. Do what you can, because I still do stand by my previous video of your life is in your hands. So yeah, today is chest day, and we are trying out that new gym. If you watch the gym vlogs, if not, I will see you tomorrow for another philosophy video. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a blessed day.